Hello there. In the last couple of days I've cut up a large log of ash which has got some crotch figuring, so I split the log just in half, and you can see from this piece the direction of this is one branch was going off this way, another one going that way, and then of course the base piece coming out here, and I've cut, and then of course I split the log then down through the middle like that. So I've got this one to make one bowl. Ooh, it's a bit of a lump. And I'm going to make the bowls not natural edged, but so that more or less is the top of the bowl, and the hollow will go in there like that, and the base around here. And I thought I would just do a small video on the roughing out of these and the preparation. So I'll just bring the camera. Actually, probably easier if I take the camera. Oh, excuse this terrible photography. So here you can see the other half mounted to the chuck by means of the faceplate, and that's screwed into the timber. There's only 3 screws holding it, but they're quite long ones, and it is, you can see from here, it's quite an uneven lump. It's quite broad at one end, and of course that means it's going to have to go very slowly to start with until we can even up and take off a good piece of this material. I could do it with a chainsaw, but now I've mounted it up, I'll just get it spinning and do it with the chisels. So we put the camera back and set it so it can actually see the lathe. I'll do a quick demonstration of roughing out. I'm going to be using this this big 5/8 bowl gouge with a swept back grind. I find those particularly good. I start with the lathe, the speed turned right down, and then just as soon as it starts to wobble the bed, I'll stop it. So we've got now about 250 RPM. Quite quickly now it's reached a point where the rest is moved away from the wood, so bring it in close again, give you maximum support for the tool. Pop a pair of ear defenders on. It's actually quite loud. It's coming fairly even now. I'll take a little bit more off and then I'll work on the outside, and then I can bring the lathe speed up a little bit then. Floor coming there. A feature. try and bring it to round now. Right, I think I'll give the chisel a sharpen, just to make sure. Well, we've reached around with it, so start shaping now on the base. running more evenly now, so I'm able to bring the speed up to, well, it's 580 it says there. Of course that makes it that much easier to cut as well, because there's more force available for each turn. That's quite attractive. See if I can't. Oh, Mr. Woodlouse. But he's giddy. I'll be using these large 3.5 inch jaws to grip this. So if can you see that? No. I'll just open the chuck up roughly to just about 1/8 of an inch. Now this gives you more or less the ideal gripping surface. It's almost a true circle then. If I measure that, that's 80 millimeters. So if I make this 80, actually I'll make it a bit bigger than that to allow for it to shrink. I'll make it 90, because when it dries out it'll shrink, and I want to be able to cut it down to the ideal size when I'm finishing rather than when it's being roughed. To form the dovetail for the tenon, I use these 3-pointer tools. Really good, very easy to use. perfect tenon. I'm not being too fussy about the final shape. You can see it's fairly flat here, curves down to the tenon. You can see, get the angle right, see that tenon form there with a slight dovetail with the 3-point tool. And I'll turn this round now, roughly inside out, leave it about 3/4 of an inch thick to an inch, and that'll have a few months to dry out. Batteries run out. check the depth now. About half an inch more. That's it. Well, you can see there's it's quite attractive, but there's less figure on it than I hoped. I was hoping with the stress introduced by the branches that there might have been some feathering in this, and it would have made it a good subject for colouring. But it'll probably see it. Looking at this depth, it's a good, possibly even a 4-inch deep bowl. It could make quite a nice salad bowl, but we'll see how it turns up when it's completely dry. Anyway, that's the roughing out process. Look how much that's changed colour. When that was being cut, that was nearly white. This is quite pretty around here, all this rough and broken grain. That's quite attractive. I think it is anyway. I don't know whether everybody would think that, but it's what's amazing about this is the state of this timber. There's a little bit of the beginnings of spalt in here. Is that showing here? But the rest of it is going pink, like fresh cut ash, and yet this was felled 2 years ago and has been outside ever since. So it's this remarkably resilient wood. It lasted outside for absolutely ages. There's the beginnings here as well, you can see, of a bit of a ring shake, but it's not really in a dangerous place there, so I won't worry too much about that. That's obviously the other small branch that was going out that way. Anyway, I'll mount the other one up now and rough that, but let's face the camera. So there we are. It's just a small demonstration of roughing out a large piece of ash. So it's split in half, mounted and roughed. And if you're new to turning, I hope that proves to be useful, along with many other YouTube videos that are available, because a different take on it, somebody else doing it, you might see something in this video that you didn't see in others, and vice versa. You could easily see useful points in other people's videos that I've missed out on mine, so you have to forgive me for that. I try to be as safe as I can, of course, when I'm using a lathe, and so should you also. So if you've noticed something that you think is wildly unsafe, I don't mind you making that comment. but I think it was pretty well set up. So until the next video, which I have no idea what it'll be, thanks for watching. Bowl number 2 turned out very similar. I've got a slightly shallower shape on it, but it's got some quite attractive markings, as you can see, as well as a, whoops, other way, I can't orient this properly here, a bit of quite a hole there. We'll just have to see how that turns out. On the inside, as you can see, there's a lot of inclusions, so these will just have to be features in the finished piece. Again, there's this unusual timber here. I don't know what this is. It's incredibly hard and dense. I've not seen it before in ash. It's almost like a solid piece of summerwood that's grown separate or in a different manner to the normal one. And on here, of course, there's a little bit of spalting. Can you see that? Let's get it in the right place. Might look quite attractive coloured, this one. And there is a small bit of feathering on the inside. Again, if I bring it up, you can see those features here. They will actually look quite nice coloured. So I may well colour this one in several months. It'll take a while before they dry out. If I hold the two up together, back far enough, you can see a pair of bowls that came on that log. So I hope you found that of some interest, and I'll see you next time.